One of the key themes that we're hearing, certainly in your writing, is this whole issue of violence.
Right.
It came up in our conversation already.
Yes.
The locus effect.
Right.
You're talking a lot about violence and the impact it has with poverty. Is it the cause of poverty, or is it the effect of poverty?
Well, this was something that I learned a great deal about just because of these experiencing working in these very poor communities. At finding out, oh, the young girls aren't going to school. Because if you think about that story I began with, those girls who are teenagers but aren't going to school like they should be, which would be the great thing to get them out of poverty, is to get those girls going to school. Well, they can't go to school if they're being abused in a brothel somewhere. And this is what we found over and over again, is that it's not actually poverty that causes violence. What causes violence is impunity. That is, that a stronger person can get away with it. And what happens in poor communities is that they just don't get the benefit of good law enforcement. Over and over again, the data and research from the World Bank and from the UN demonstrates that for poor people, their experience of police and law enforcement in their community actually makes them poorer. It's extortionary, it's hurtful. They run from the police rather than to the police. And so you can imagine that if you're a widow trying to raise a family in Africa on a small plot of land, and you're trying to provide just basic food and help them maybe have a better future, and then some gang from the neighborhood with machetes comes and just throws you off your land, well, that violence has now cast you down into poverty, even though you actually had a capacity previously to forge your way forward. So the basic message is, safety from violence won't get you out of poverty, because then you will need, in fact, all of the kind of wonderful assistance and support that the poorest of the poor need in our world, helping them gain economic independence. But if they can't secure themselves to build the basic platform of security so they can move forward, then all that effort that we are doing to try to assist, we can find it just undercut. And those services that we as followers of Jesus provide in terms of fresh water and food and development and education and microloans, that stuff is so important that we need to make sure we're securing it with basic security for those who are poor.